Lily Collins and Charlie McDowell welcomed their first child, and internet users had a lot to say about it. Hi, I'm Maria Paula Bermeo, clinical psychologist, and on this channel we talk about various topics and we analyze them from a psychological point of view, so if you're interested, please keep on watching. Before starting this video, I want to remind you that I give in-person and online therapy, so if you need a consultation, please feel free to reach me out on my social media, my phone number, my email, all of them will be listed down below on the description box as well. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, it will help me out a lot, and if there's a specific topic that you would like me to talk about, leave it on the comments down below or feel free to DM me my Instagram. I'm always open to suggestions and I love interacting with you all. For a couple that dreams about a future together, getting pregnant is one of their biggest achievements because that means their family is growing, their future is expanding, their motivation increases. However, getting pregnant is unfortunately not a possibility for many because they may suffer from infertility issues for plenty of reasons, such as pre-existing inherited diseases, autoimmune illnesses, a clinical history of eating disorders that permanently have affected the body, etc. And these individuals that do want to have children could suffer from a severe grief when feeling they cannot accomplish their life goals, hence why us mental health providers, doctors, family members could suggest other ways for them to have children as adoption or surrogacy, which are great solutions they can access to and for them to get back that hope they so much have about building a home, which might have been the case of actress Lily Collins and her husband Charlie McDowell. Lily Collins and Charlie McDowell have welcomed their first child via surrogate. That was the news. Great, congrats to them, right? I wish those were the general reactions, but contrary to that, there were a lot of negative comments about Lily and Charlie because they had the baby via surrogacy. Let's check them out. Translation: they rented a woman's body and bought a baby. Why can't you call this what this is? Exploitation and human trafficking. Lily Collins and Charlie McDowell partake in human trafficking. Human trafficking is a serious crime that includes threats, violence, manipulation, and plenty of other awful things. These people are catastrophizing a surrogacy, a process that is taken seriously that requires following steps set by the law. Comparing it to human trafficking is ill. Rich Nepo babies rent a woman's womb to buy a baby and rape the child from the only mother they've known because they can. This to me is kind of swearing on someone just because they have money, which is a clear sign of bitterness and frustration with themselves, which they are trying to cope with by hating on rich people. It's so dysfunctional actually. They bought a human being and you're trying to normalize it. You are all disgusting. They are literally not. They might have paid someone to carry their baby because Lily can't for whatever reason, or maybe Charlie could be infertile too. But you know what? Surrogacy requires the couple to be present every single time with the woman who's carrying the baby. If they were buying the baby, they would have persecuted and stalked a random woman with a newborn they saw in the streets or online, but they went through a lengthy process to have a child. So Lily and Charlie are rich enough to be able to participate in a bid to create a subclass of women who function as incubators. These people that make this type of comments are the same advocating for women to not be diminished. Meanwhile, they diminish surrogates to human incubators. Make it make sense, please. So sad the child's first experience outside the womb is separation from the only mother the child knew. Manufacturing trauma for a child to satisfy adult desires shouldn't be celebrated. Humans aren't commodities. I think Lily and Charlie are intelligent enough to follow the process in the right way. If not, they most likely have had the best professional guidance to follow the steps safely, which from the mental health aspect, if they have done things right, they for sure had the surrogate close to them during the entire pregnancy, which allows the baby to listen to their voices, know them through sounds, and bond with them while still in the womb. So when the child was born, they were already familiar with their parents. This comment is just as irrational as if you said the dad shouldn't hold the baby because he didn't carry them in their belly. No one is entitled to a baby. Nature doesn't owe you your own baby. Having a baby is special, lucky, dangerous, lovely, and hard. Buying a baby is the wrong start to parenting. That a baby needed its own mother. You put your own feelings first. Adopt. Don't buy and sell babies. And here I'm probably going to sound rude, but if nature doesn't owe you a baby, what about promiscuous and careless people that get pregnant and then they want to get an abortion? Shouldn't that be judged as well because nature is actually giving them a baby? Isn't an abortion putting themselves first in a selfish way? And my intention is not to give you all a pro-life lecture nor a pro-abortion one. I just want to point out the psychological dichotomy these individuals are manifesting, which ends up showing how hypocritical they are. I hate rich women and their surrogacy. And no matter what the reason, having a baby through a surrogate mother is never acceptable. It is an abuse. You're buying a human being and you are degrading another to just be an incubator. If you can have children, either you adopt or you're screwed. It's that simple. It's not a right to have a baby with your genes. I'm fed up with buying babies being legal and people justifying it with money. If everything goes with money involved, things are going to go very badly for us. It can be possible to explode poor women's uterus only because the millionaire ones don't want to sacrifice their bodies or agendas, but they really want to have a baby with their genes. These type of people are the ones that march every year on Women's Day demanding for the patriarchy to allow them to be girl bosses that must work hard to earn their money and be independent, that want the state to finance abortions, that say that we all should practice sorority and let women be, only what they are living through a victim mentality in which they are oppressed and unhappy though. Because in the moment when a girl boss that makes her own money and is independent decides to bring life to this world with the help of another woman that is okay with using her body to give birth to a child, then that is bad. These people are so close-minded, so trapped in their bubble and their individualistic, selfish ideas that they cannot understand that the phrase "my body, my choice" is not necessarily about being promiscuous, posting explicit content on OF, sleeping around with everyone and then getting an abortion because they weren't careful. It can also be about deciding to form a family and doing it in a way that doesn't risk their lives, nor the women's, nor the babies, or helping a family that wants to have a children by burying their baby because they are not able to conceive themselves. It's about a diversity of thoughts that should be tolerated, isn't it? Luckily, I found more than positive comments, rational ones that give logical opinions on Lily's surrogacy and the unnecessary hate she and Charlie have been receiving. Everyone should stop having a go at Lily Collins for using a surrogate. It's entirely her choice, and at least she's been honest about her past struggle with anorexia, etc. Leave her alone to enjoy her new baby with her family. Just as I said at the beginning of the video, eating disorders have potential permanent consequences, being infertility issues one of them, especially with under-eating EDs as anorexia or bulimia, because women specifically can suffer from amenorrhea, aka the lack of period due to hormonal disorders caused by malnutrition. This amenorrhea affects women's cycle, can damage the uterus permanently, ovaries as well. Remember, they could also develop polycystic ovary syndrome, can cause bone weakness, making it difficult or dangerous to get pregnant. Couples in this position that do want to procreate can experience depression, severe anguish, anxiety, self-esteem issues. The environment could get tense in certain situations, which is so damaging for their mental health, hence why surrogacy could be actually a solution. I cannot sure if this is Lily's situation, but could be a possibility as she has openly discussed her own experiences suffering from eating disorders, particularly anorexia. I know someone who surrogates. She had a baby last year surrogate-wise and is attempting to surrogate again. Sometimes people enjoy being pregnant and want to bring parenthood to other parents. Pregnancy is one of the most dangerous things that can happen to a woman, especially if they have pre-existing conditions. Please stop trying to make it seem like it's rainbows and butterflies. Lily is the mother. Get off Twitter and get onto Google and research what the hell surrogacy is. And this is actually a reality. There are females out there with with very altruistic philanthropist personalities that have the will to do a lot of things to help others to be happy, including being surrogates. I've seen people like those, and believe me, they are not traffickers. They are healthy people that want to contribute to society in ways that maybe not all would, but they enjoy giving aspiring parents that cannot conceive themselves for any reason a hand to build a home and a family. And here's a nice example of it. Not everything is black and white. You demanding weak-band surrogacy would deprive women such as below of having children and providing a loving home. Stop being so judgmental. And here this user attached a story of a woman that helped another woman that suffered from cancer to have a baby via surrogacy, which is so nice. You know, for humans with different mindsets, empowering women is not encouraging them to prostitute themselves in those blue pages, screwing men just for being men, marching on the streets, showing their boobs. Sometimes it is helping them to achieve their dream of being mothers. If we're praising dangerous things that could make women face so much trauma long term, why don't you praise the power we have to create life and practice that sorority you so much mention to help those that cannot get pregnant and feel accomplished? Are we supposed to be compassionate with our peers? Wasn't it my body, my choice in any situation? Calling this human trafficking is just an insult to the actual victims of it. As I said, human trafficking involves violence, threats, kidnapping, abuse, forcing victims to do things they don't want to do. It's a traumatic situation that also puts people in danger, one that a common citizen could not even imagine. When having a children, forming a family in a non-common way is deemed as human trafficking, you are just making the actual concept of this crime meaningless, and that is why actual victims are afraid to speak up. Feminists criticized Lily Collins for presenting her baby that she had through surrogacy. Curiously, she was given a TT and not her husband, who is also famous. And sorority and the my body, my choice doesn't apply to a woman who rented her womb, or how does that work? Two valid points in here. No one is mentioning Charlie, which is curious because they are a marriage, a team of two people in which both took the decision of a surrogacy, which tells me they, and by they I mean women who are most likely feminists, are literally just focusing on Lily because she's not victimizing herself and decided to search for other options along with her husband because she's an actual girl boss that has money, who is also married to a husband with money and decided to conceive with some help. This might have awakened the envy and jealousy from many of these feminists because Lily is thriving. They threw all of their sorority speeches away, which shows that today, these movements that advocate for compassion and inclusion just do it because they have plenty of issues themselves. They try to cope with those by living through a victim mentality that blocks them from assuming their issues and solve them because that is easier than facing them and heal. But they are so blind that they don't realize that they are contradicting themselves every single time, which makes the rest of the world look at their ideologies as ridiculous because in the end they are fighting for something and destroying themselves simultaneously with those said fights. Basically, human trafficking. Are you people actually insane? She might have fertility issues and be unable to have a kid. It's not handmade sale or renting a body, Jesus Christ. There are things happening in this country that actually are like that, not this one. Couldn't have said it better myself. We don't know what this couple is going through, so we cannot criticize their decisions. And also, I'd like to add that we don't know the reasons for the surrogate to conceive their child. So attacking is not the option. Let them be. A woman doesn't have to carry a child inside and bear them to be a mother. Pregnancy isn't all rainbows and butterflies or some badge of honor. It's perfectly normal for a human to avoid something that could potentially be fatal. You never know someone's reason for it, right? Listen, the minute you say Lily and Charlie are not the parents, they didn't conceive their child themselves, you are also sending a message that non-biological parents in general are indeed not the parents of any child, which is putting adoption into question as well. Doesn't every child deserve to have parents, whether if they carried them or not? There is a phrase we say in my hometown: parent is not that one that conceives, but the one that raises. And there is a reality in that from psychology. Parental figures are not necessarily those that procreated the baby, but those that take care of them, those who feed the child, the ones that give them love, those that create an environment of trust the kid feels a part of, the ones that a child identifies with, who could be the biological parents, but also adoptive parents, those that receive the child from surrogacy, could also be grandparents, uncles, siblings, and you're ignoring that when you state that conception parents are the only ones that could be considered the parents. You're snatching the meaning of home and family from those little kids that don't know who their biological parents are, but have been or want to be adopted, or those that weren't in their mom's belly. Now, I was curious on how the US law handles surrogacy, and I found a ton of info, but this extract sums up what is going on. As you research, you may come across information on states that are unfavorable to surrogacy. There are different reasons why states may be unfavorable to surrogacy, but surrogacy laws in those states may prohibit compensated surrogacy or make it impossible for both intended parents to be listed on their child's birth certificate. If you're considering surrogacy in one of these states, it is critical you talk to a lawyer to see what options are available to you and how you might protect yourself from the legal issues with surrogacy in these states. It is also important to know that surrogacy laws will vary even within those unfriendly states, sometimes depending on the county and the judge involved. Some lawyers have established relationships with judges that make surrogacies more possible than the state's laws may initially allow. So surrogacy could be a little tricky depending on the state citizens try to do it. But Lily and Charlie, according to my research, live in LA, the state of California. The California law allows surrogacy to happen, and it requires a written agreement between the aspiring parents and the surrogate, which includes aspects as the safety of the surrogate, that the aspiring parents should pay for most expenses, preferably most of them, but it also depends on the surrogate, and the surrogate is compensated as well. About a pre-birth order so the aspiring parents can be registered as the actual parents in the certificates and avoid the child to be submitted to stressful legal issues in the future. Warranting the well-being of every party involved, which does not equal to human trafficking. And in general, surrogacy is a lengthy process that makes sure the parents get to know the surrogate can assure that she'll be completely safe. The child will grow healthily in the womb and will go home with their parents without suffering from any physical nor mental health repercussion. Finally, though, due to the amount of criticism, Charlie McDowell decided to break his silence and defend his and Lily's decision to have a child via surrogacy. Thank you for all of the kind messages and love. We are overjoyed and very grateful. McDowell wrote in a comment under the couple's joint post from Friday that shared the news of Tobe's birth. In regards to the kind messages about surrogacy and our path to having a baby, it is okay not to be an expert on surrogacy. It is okay to not know why someone might need a surrogate to have a child. It's okay to not know the motivations of a surrogate regardless of what you assume, he added. And it is okay to spend less time spewing hateful words into the world, especially in regards to a beautiful baby girl who has brought a lot of love into people's lives. That's all for now because she just pooped and I need to change her diaper. Which most likely means they took that decision because of health reasons. However, they really wanted to have a child, and if surrogacy gave them that hope and opportunity, why taking that joy away? that is so unnecessary. In the end, they are raising that baby girl, they are filling her with love, and they are building the home they want to build with her, meaning that they are the parents. Sure, they received the help from a surrogate who decided to use her body to bring life to this world, which should also be respected, but that's an option that is open for those that are able to afford it. And if certain people hate on these individuals for using the legal and fair tools they have to accomplish their goals and life projects, then that says more about themselves and their ill mindset than whatever they want to assume from Lily and Charlie. Is there something you learned from this video or something that you would like to add to the conversation? Leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to like this video and share it with someone that may find this useful. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so that you never miss out from more interesting psychology content. Thanks for watching.